All right, let's jump into a deep dive, shall we? Today we're looking at the top movies of the 1990s.
Ooh, the 90s?
Yeah, specifically using a list from the top10s.com.
Okay.
Now, whether you're a film fanatic or just kind of curious about this decade, this is going to be interesting, I think.
Definitely.
We're going to unpack the top contenders. We're going to talk about some surprising snubs.
Surprises, I like it.
And, of course, hear what the voters on the site had to say about all these movies.
Right.
But here's a fascinating tidbit before we even get started. And I want to get your take on this.
Okay.
The Shawshank Redemption, right?
Big fan.
It ranks higher on the site's all-time movie list
Oh.
than it does on the 90s list.
That is odd, isn't it?
What do you think's going on there?
Well, I mean, it makes you think about, what really makes a film great.
Yeah. Is it just a product of its time, or is it something that grows over time?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's dive into this top 10 list and see if we can figure it out.
Sounds good.
Number 1, we've got Forrest Gump.
Ah, a classic.
Run, Forrest, run.
Yeah.
Really cemented Tom Hanks as a dramatic actor, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would call that his best performance, too.
Oh, for sure.
It's just so,
Iconic.
yeah, the blend of humor and heart, and of course the history woven into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fascinating how that movie still resonates all these years later.
Yeah.
People just, they love that nostalgia for a simpler time, I think.
At number 2, we have Toy Story.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not just a great film, but a pivotal moment in animation history.
It was, wasn't it?
It was the first fully computer-animated
Yeah.
feature film, and it completely changed how stories were told.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Toy Story showed that CGI could actually, create characters and worlds that weren't just visually cool, but you actually cared about them,
Right.
It set a new standard. It really did.
Yeah.
Paved the way for everything we see today
Totally.
in animation.
All right, number 3, we have Pulp Fiction.
Ooh, Pulp Fiction.
Not just a highly ranked film,
Yeah.
but like a cultural phenomenon.
It's so stylish.
People rave about the direction, the writing, the music, the out-of-order storytelling.
You can't ignore, Tarantino's style in that movie.
Yeah.
It just demands your attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blending genres, non-linear storytelling. You feel like you've seen it before, but it's totally fresh
Yeah.
at the same time.
All right, Goodfellas is at number 4. And I thought this comment from a voter was really interesting.
Okay.
They said, it's a movie that just tells a story without pushing an agenda,
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to be drawn into a good narrative.
Sometimes you just want to be transported, right?
That's it.
And I think Goodfellas does that so well,
Totally.
Scorsese's, gritty realism, the
Mhm.
performances, they pull you in, into that world.
Okay, remember the Shawshank Redemption being higher on the all-time list?
Yeah.
Well, it comes in at number 5 on this list of 90s movies.
So what do you think? Is it just that its themes, like hope and perseverance, maybe they just resonate
Yeah.
even more strongly as time passes,
Right.
Maybe that's why it's climbing the ranks.
Okay, and at number 6, Saving Private Ryan.
Another great one.
A voter said it was their favorite until they saw The Green Mile.
Wow.
And guess what? The Green Mile is at number 9 on this list.
Huh.
What do you make of that?
I mean, they're very different movies, right?
Yeah.
But they both kind of explore, humanity and redemption,
Oh, interesting.
which really hits people, I think,
Yeah.
in different ways.
Number 7, Jurassic Park.
Oh, who doesn't love dinosaurs?
Right. It's got the action, it's got the humor, it's got...
The effects still hold up pretty well.
It's a spectacle.
It really is, yeah.
All right, Terminator 2,
Oh, wow.
Judgment Day at number 8.
Okay.
This one was already being praised back in '94 for its special effects, and this was before, all the CGI advancements we have today. One verse even said it was like a warning about technology taking over.
Ooh, interesting.
Kind of creepy how prescient that is now,
Yeah, artificial intelligence, the dangers of tech. It's even more relevant now than it was back then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rounding out the top 10 is Toy Story 2,
Okay.
a sequel that proves they can be just as good, if not better, than the original.
Yeah, expanded the world, deepened those relationships, just solidified it as a classic, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Now, before we get to the notable snubs, I gotta say, I was kind of blown away by some of the films that didn't make the top 10.
Really?
I mean, there are some absolute classics missing.
It's true, though. It just goes to show you the 90s had such a range of movies,
Yeah.
such quality. It's incredible.
Like Fight Club, for example.
Yeah. What about that?
A lot of voters thought it deserved a top 5 spot, maybe even top 3.
Really?
One person even called it a classic with undeserved hate.
Why do you think it got overlooked?
It was pretty controversial back then, right?
It was, yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe people just like misinterpreted its message about masculinity and rebellion.
Yeah.
But now I think its themes are even more relevant, right? It's got that cult following now.
Right, exactly.
People who get
And how about The Matrix?
Matrix.
Visually groundbreaking, right?
Yeah.
One voter said it's the most influential film of the decade.
You know, it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
Bullet time, just that alone
Right.
was groundbreaking. Everyone was copying it.
Yeah.
Plus, it tapped into those anxieties we have about technology
Right.
and reality. So,
And they're still relevant today, those anxieties.
oh, totally.
Okay, this next one is a personal favorite of mine, The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. Oh, yeah.
Cult classic, right?
It really is a cult classic.
People who love it, they really love it.
Yeah.
They think it's top 3 worthy.
I mean, it's such a strange movie, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to even
You
describe.
can't categorize it.
But it's got the humor, the characters, the quotable lines, you know?
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon.
All right, another snub that I personally love. Severson.
C7.
One voter called it the most hauntingly atmospheric thriller ever made.
Oh, wow.
Another said they prefer it to Forrest Gump.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's a great film, right?
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
Okay, now for the film that's sure to spark some debate. Star Wars. Episode Us. The Phantom Menace.
Oh, boy.
This one's divisive.
To say the least.
What do you think?
You know, I get it. Some fans were disappointed,
Yeah.
but some people found things to appreciate. The visuals were stunning. New characters, of course.
One voter said it's actually underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah, they highlighted the music, the visuals. They even defended Jar Binks.
Wow. Okay.
They loved that pod race scene.
Yeah, that pod race scene.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
I mean, it's visually incredible. You can't deny that.
It's true.
Even if the rest of the film is, well,
Yeah.
debatable.
It just goes to show you, even a divisive film can have these elements that people latch onto.
Totally. There's something in it for everyone, right?
That's it, right.
Maybe. And it just goes to show that even in a film that's super divisive, there can be these individual elements that people love.
Absolutely.
It's all subjective, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, what really stood out to you in all this? Anything surprise you or any rankings you just, I don't know, disagree with?
Honestly, what struck me most was just how personal these rankings are, you know?
Right.
Like, we're not just talking about, the technical stuff,
Yeah.
but about films that people connected with, like, emotionally.
Yeah.
You can really feel that passion in their comments.
Yeah.
Like, each movie is a time capsule, you know?
Totally.
Taking you back to that moment when you first saw it.
All those feelings, all those
Yeah.
memories, No wonder people get so passionate about this stuff.
Exactly. And I think that's the power of film, right? It can transport you, make you laugh, cry, think, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And these 90s films, I mean, they really left a mark.
Going through this list, I realized how many of these I first watched as a kid, and now I'm watching them with my own kids.
Wow.
And it's kind of incredible how well they hold up,
It is. It's a testament to the quality, that
Yeah.
we're tapping into those universal themes.
Right.
Friendship, love, loss, the challenges of growing up.
Yeah.
Those are things that, like, everyone experiences, you know?
If you had to pick just one film from this list to put in your, personal Hall of Fame.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
So many good choices.
Yeah.
But I think I'd go with Pulp Fiction,
Oh, great choice.
It's just so audacious, so original. It really broke the mold, didn't it?
Yeah.
For storytelling.
It's a masterpiece, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with The Shawshank Redemption, though. Just that story is hope and resilience.
Oh, it gets you every time.
Every time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes me think, though, have these shaped our own views?
Ooh, interesting question.
Like, did watching The Matrix as a teenager make us question reality a little bit more?
Maybe.
Did Fight Club make us think differently about consumerism?
That's a great point. I mean, these films can really stay with you.
Yeah.
Even after they're over.
Yeah.
They seep into your subconscious, don't they?
Makes you want to revisit them with fresh eyes,
Totally.
See what new layers you can find.
As we get older, our perspectives change, right?
Right.
So we find new meanings in things we might have missed before.
Okay, so for all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
here's a challenge for you.
Right.
Pick a movie from this list, maybe one you haven't seen in a while, or even one you've never seen.
Ooh, fun.
Rewatch it.
Yeah.
And think about, what resonated with you then, what stands out now.
Mm.
Does it make you feel differently today?
Don't just passively watch it, Engage with it.
Yeah.
Think about the context, the themes, the
Hmm.
impact it had.
You might uncover a hidden gem or gain a newfound appreciation for a classic.
It's all about exploring, right? There's
Exactly.
always something new to discover.
Now, if this deep dive has inspired you to make your own top 10 list of 90s
Oh,
movies,
I'd love to see that.
share it with us on social media.
Yeah.
Let's keep this conversation going.
Let's hear what you think. What were your favorites? What would you add to the list?
Because at the end of the day, it's all about sharing our love of movies,
It
right?
is, yeah.
Connecting with other people who feel the same way, keeping those discussions alive.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe those hidden gems, those overlooked film,
Mm-hmm.
they'll become the classics of tomorrow,
Right.
inspiring a whole new generation.
The 90s, it was a remarkable decade for film, no doubt.
It
Gave us
was.
so many iconic movies that we still watch and love today.
Yeah, but this list, it's just a starting point, right?
Yeah, it is.
There's a whole world of cinema out there.
So keep watching, keep learning, and keep those conversations going.
Yeah, keep the passion alive.
And hey, if you're ever looking for something to watch, just remember those amazing 90s movies.
You won't be disappointed.
You won't be disappointed. You know, it's amazing to think how these films from the 90s, which feel like recent history to some of us, are already influencing the films being made today.
Oh, absolutely.
Makes you appreciate that lasting impact of a good story, well told.
Yeah, the themes, the techniques, even the way they look, it's all there
Mm-hmm.
in the films we're watching now.
Yeah.
A conversation that just keeps going.
And that's why it's so cool to revisit these films.
Uh-huh.
It's not just nostalgia. It's about seeing them with new eyes, understanding their influence,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how they shaped what we watch now.
I love that.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these top 90s movies,
Yeah.
I want you to think about what this list means to you.
Mm-hmm.
Which films really stuck with you? Which ones would you add? Which ones would you, I don't know, maybe kick off the list?
Yeah. Yeah.
And most importantly, what other 90s gems are out there just waiting to be rediscovered?
There's got to be tons, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this list, it's really just a starting point.
A jumping off point.
Yeah, for your own exploration.
Exactly.
So go watch those movies, revisit the ones you love, find the hidden gems,
Yeah. Yeah.
and share your thoughts with, the world.
Let's hear it.
Let's have those conversations.
Exactly. Keep the passion alive.
You keep the passion alive.
And hey, who knows? Maybe you'll even be inspired to make your own movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a wrap on our deep dive into the top movies of the 90s.
It's been fun.
We hope you enjoyed it
Yeah.
and that it maybe sparks some of your own movie thoughts and conversations.
Keep watching.
Until next time, happy watching.